So I get some fan mail once in a while, and I wanted to share one with you because this one was pretty unique, and I really do appreciate everything that we get from our fans. This was a gift from an artist, Deja. Thank you very much for sending me this awesome Horsepower Logic painting. This was obviously handmade, and I love it. It's got the rotary touch. Carla's gonna love that too. And it says Horsepower Logic established 2007, which is accurate. Really cool. We'll hang this up in the shop. I really do appreciate it. Give her a follow. Check out her Instagram here. And if you have anything you want to send to us, feel free to send it to the shop. Shop address is on the website. And if you're lucky enough, I'll feature it on the channel. Thank you so much. Alright, so I have found the ultimate culprit for the failure of the RZR engine on the COPART RZR, and it's pretty much what we expected. Here we are. Pull the oil pan off now, and the oil pump screens are completely clogged, and there's just pure freaking sludge. This is pure dirt, mud from Texas mud. So this thing got filled with mud. Me draining the oil didn't really help because the screens were clogged. I guess I could have pulled the... I mean, I think the damage was already done when I got it, but realistically, that's what caused the failure. That starved the bearings for oil, took out the main bearings, and here we are. So I'm going to continue disassembling. I want to get to the crankshaft now and see if the crankshaft is reusable or not. And if not, well, we'll be getting a new crankshaft. Alright, so we got the crank out. The good news is the block's okay. So the case tabs are not damaged, so we'll be able to reuse the cases at least. One of the journals on the crankshaft, one of the main journals for the connecting rod, is trashed. So this crankshaft is not going to be able to be reused. That's a bummer, but at the same time, we were probably going to replace that anyway. I just boxed these pistons and rods for the hell of it, but it definitely wasted one of the connecting rod bearings. You can see there, it was spun. So it did spin a bearing, and the other one was worn out, but it was still there. But you can see it's completely worn out. So this was on its way to catastrophic failure. It was already failing, and the other one did already fail, so we lost the crankshaft in that maneuver. So we're going to be replacing the whole bottom end, basically. New crank, new rods, new bearings. Everything else seemed okay, so we'll put it back together with the balance shaft and everything that was already there. Maybe replace the timing chain, stuff like that. But other than that, it's going to be pretty straightforward now. We're already at the what I call the halfway point. So we'll just be getting new stuff. We're going to order all the parts this week and hopefully have them next week, and then we'll be able to reassemble this thing and throw it back into the RZR. So that's the end of the disassembly for this thing completely. Pretty much what we expected. I got everything all boxed up and ready. Got the head here. I got the cams and all the head bolts and everything there. Shim and buckets. So we're all just kind of in a state of suspense. This cylinder was also trashed. You can see here where the I guess this Cecil or whatever this coating is actually coming off. It was lifting off. And this area is right where the piston contacts as it reaches bottom dead center. So that is trashed as well. What can I say? You win some, you lose some. This thing obviously lived in the mud, died in the mud. and I was just the coroner at this point. So we're gonna bring it back to life though, and we're gonna make the COPART RZR great again, so hang tight. All right, so we're gonna take a little break from the COPART RZR now to do some work. Gotta tune this GTR. The engine halves are all done, all cleaned up. You can see here, we got a nice, clean slate now to work with. Oil pan's emptied. I got all the trash out of it. Cleaned up the oil pump. Got the screens cleaned up. So new parts are on the way. We're gonna do a new crank, pistons, rods, sleeves. We're gonna go to a big bore. We're gonna punch it out to about a 950 cc now. So we're getting up closer to that 1000 cc mark. Should make a pretty decent amount of torque. We're doing cams, all the good stuff. The guys over at BP Racing ATV hooked it up. They got us a good deal on all of the internals and everything we need to do this. We're doing head work. We've got a ported, polished head coming with the cams, everything. So it's gonna be a really nice, screaming little setup. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for those parts to get here, hopefully they get here sometime next week. In the meantime, while we're waiting for those parts to get here, we got this R35 GTR on a dyno now. This is a full bolt-on E85 setup, tuning with Cobb. Just finished the pump gas setup, and we're now getting ready to make a pull on E85. We're cooling her off. It's hot, it's humid, it was raining, so the odds are always against us here. But we are gonna try and make some power. E85 usually on these cars gets us close to 600 wheel horsepower. So anything close to that 600 wheel horsepower range is really good for this car. Let's go ahead and run it and see what we're doing. After we get done with the GTR, we're gonna baseline that Z right there. Nice little Z06, C7. So the last of the dying breed, or a dead breed, the front engine Corvette, it's gone. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and run this on E85 now. Let's see what it does. So that run was right around 575. I think we could get a little more out of it. Not bad for the first pull, and the motor's hot. So 571, 576 torque. So it's got a little more in it. I'd like to see closer to 600. So I'll tweak it a little bit and see what we can get, but not too bad, huh? Okay, so let's go ahead and make a pull now with this Corvette. This is a C7 Z06, supercharged, top of the mill. You're not gonna get any better. So this is the end of the era right here. The rear wheel drive, front engine Corvette. We'll see how much power she puts down. Stock. Okay. Stock C7 Z06. Here we are. 535 to the wheel with 560 foot-pounds of torque. So, They rate these at 650 horsepower, 650 torque. We're a little shy of that, I think. But again, it's real hot, and we don't have the craziest airflow here. But either way, we're gonna put an exhaust on it, as if it needs to get any louder, and we're gonna retune it. So stay tuned for that. That'll be in the next video. I'd love to see closer to 600 horsepower, but hey, I said that with the GTR. We got to 570 with that R35. This thing should get close to it as well. So what are you rooting for? You rooting for the home team, or are you rooting for the JDM squad? Put it in the comments. Let me know which one you'd take, and let's see if we can get this American Ripper up to spec.